Europe wanted to understand and study their own folk culture. This led to the antiquarians making collections in order to document their own national traditions. Thomas Crofton Croker was an Irish antiquarian who collected old stories from the rural areas in Ireland, among other things. He was inspired and worked closely with the Grimm brothers. Croker was born in Cork in 1798. He had little school education, but read widely while he was a merchant's apprentice. From 1812 to 1816, he traveled around the south of Ireland and collected legends and folk songs. This would later on form the basis of his first books. The book we will be focusing on in this video is his second book, Fairy Legends and Traditions of the South of Ireland, which was published in 1825. Fairy Legends and Traditions of the South of Ireland was a collection of songs and tales he would hear from people living in the south of Ireland. This was the first time Irish or British oral folk tales had been captured down and recorded in writing. The Grimm brothers did the same type of story collection, but were in Germany. This book was such a success that he published more books after this one. This book helped establish Croker's reputation as a writer. We would now like to share with you the story, The Capture of Biddy Purcell. Biddy Purcell was as clean and as clever a girl as you would see in any of the 7 parishes. She was just 18 when she was whipped away from us, as some say. And I'll tell you how it was. Biddy Purcell and myself, that's her sister, and more girls with us went one day, 'twas Sunday too, after hearing mass to pick rushes in the bog that's under the old castle. Well, just as we were coming through the Craig gate, a small child, just like one of them little crathers you see out there, came behind her and gave her a little bit of a tip with a kippin between the 2 shoulders. Just then she got a pain in the small of her back, and out through her heart, as if she was struck. We only made game of her, and began to laugh, for sure that much wouldn't hurt a fly, let alone a Christian. Well, when we got to the bog, some went here and more went there, everywhere, up and down, for 'twas a good big place, and Biddy was in one corner, with not one along with her, or near her, only just herself. She had picked a good bundle of rushes, and while she was tying them up in her apron, up came an old woman to her, and a very curious old woman she was. Not one of the neighbors could tell who she was, from poor Pity's account, nor ever saw or heard tell of the likes of her before or since. So she looks at the rushes, and Biddy Purcell says she give me some of the rushes. Biddy was afeared for her life, but for all that she told her, the bog was big enough, and there was plenty more rashes, and to go pick for herself, and not be bothering other people. The word wasn't out of her mouth when the old woman got as mad as fire and gave her such a slash across the knees and feet with a little whip that was in her hand that was Biddy's most kilt with pain. That night Biddy took sick, and what with pains in her heart and out through her knees, she wasn't able to sit or lie and had to be kept standing on the floor, and you'd hear the screeching and the bawling of her as far and farther than Mugret. Well, our heart was broke with her, and we didn't know what in the wide world to do, for she was always telling us that if we had all the money belonging to the master, and to lose it by her, 'twould not do. She knew all along what ailed her, but she wasn't let tell till a couple of hours before she died. And then she told us she saw a whole heap of fairies, and they riding up upon horses under Kerry, and every one of them had girls behind them all to one, and he told her he was waiting for her, and he would come for her at such a day and at such an hour, and sure enough, 'twas at that day and hour she died. She was just 5 days sick, and as I said before, our heart was fairly broke to see our poor Cather. She was so bad. Well, we hear tell of a man that was good to bring people back, so they say, and we went to him. He gave us a bottle full of green herbs and desired us to boil them on the fire, and if they kept green, she was our own, but if they turned yellow, she was gone. The good people had her from us. He bid us give her the water they were boiled into a drink. When we came home, we boiled the herbs, and they turned as yellow as gold in the pot before our eyes. We gave her the water to drink, and 5 minutes after she took it, she died. Or whatsoever the thing had in her place died. Anyhow, 'twas just like her, and talked to us just the same as if it 'twas our own sister we had known there before. People say she's long wi' them in the old fort. Some say she'll come back, and some say she won't, and indeed there's no knowing for certain which to believe and which way it was.
What's up, Folklore? I'm Sarah.
And I'm Miriam.
And this was our presentation on Thomas Crofton Croker, and we hope you enjoyed it.
We had a great time while making it. It was a lot of fun.
It was great. We definitely did some exploring around campus, as you could tell in our video. We went down to the river.
We did.
And we shot some really good stuff.
At least we think so.
We think so. Miriam, what was your favorite thing about Croker?
I think my favorite thing was going to the library and actually getting to see the copying.
Yes, those pictures in our video were actually of his book that you could go see yourself if you ever wanted to go check it out.
Yeah, it was a second edition, so it was pretty old.
It was very cool. But overall, the project was very fun. It was nice to not have to just write a traditional paper.
Yeah, and I think we did. We were a good team.
Great team. We had a lot of fun. I hope you had fun watching it.
Yeah. Bye.